Hello and welcome to this introduction to Raven. If you haven't done so already, you can download Raven from the GitHub page. And the repository contains a brief introduction, some explanation to getting started, but it also contains a releases tab from which you can download a package for GameMaker. You can import it in the tools section here by using import local package. Once you have done so, you will probably want to check your project settings and make sure that scaling is set to keep aspect ratio and allow window resize is set to true. And this helps you to test if the responsive part is working as expected and the interaction might not work as we would want it when selecting full scale. So keep that in mind. Okay, so let's get started. Raven has a few objects, two actually. We have init and handler. The handler is something that we don't really need to touch or modify, but this is basically what keeps our game updated and updates our UI elements as well. And the init is where we actually build our UI and do everything. So once you open it, you'll see that there's a bunch of options here. The one thing you need to make sure for now is that your resolution is set to your screen resolution. So keep that in mind. So we see a demo project here and it has a bunch of elements, but we don't really need all of these. So let's just delete this and start from scratch. I'm going to create a new main struct, and this struct is responsible for actually like managing Raven and making sure that the UI renders and updates and everything. It's all done by the main object. It doesn't require any arguments. So because I called it main, make sure that it also matches in the push references section. When we are about to add containers in a bit, the push references section is responsible for making sure that every element has references to the containers. It is built in, and this is used because when we want to modify things or update it, some information gets passed between those. So you don't have to worry about it too much. Just make sure that you have this line right here. And in the step, you will also want to make sure that you have the correct names there. So this is the render. So every frame, the draw GUI event renders every UI element, and the step event makes sure that the update gets called. And update is what allows your interaction with elements. So, okay, so we have our main object now, and let's add a menu to it. So I will create a new menu. And this menu is going to take up the entire size of my screen. And each element should be 64 pixels wide and 32 pixels high. Can be whatever you want if you prefer something else. I'm going to add an item to this menu as well. So I'll make a new item. And this item is going to contain some text. I'll just call something like new here. And on click, it's going to do nothing for now. When you scroll up, you will see that there is a function here called global.destroyContainer. This is an example function which is also used to clean containers when you want to close them. But we can also add our own function here. Let's make it show debug message. So this function is going to print something when we click a button. So I'll just add show debug message here with clicked. And we can scroll down, and now we can replace this by passing the function that we just created. And we have our main now, we have our menu, and we have our item. But now we want to add our item to our menu and our menu to main. So anything that we create, be it items, menus, or containers, they have to be stored in something. And when you make an item, it has to be stored in a menu or another type of item in a container. And when you make a container or a menu, you have to store these in the main struct. So that's important to remember. So let's add our menu to our main. And I'll just put the menu here. And let's do the same with the item, but for the menu. So we can add an item. Oops. And I'll pass the item as an argument. Okay, so now that we have done that, let's see what happens when we try to run this. Let's see what happens here. Line 7. Let's see, we have... I forgot to pass the margin here. So I'll just add 16 here as a margin. Start with, let's see what happens. Right, so we have our menu here, and you will see that there's a button. Let's see what happens in our output. When we click the button, you will see that some text is displayed. So this is how you can trigger functionality when clicking an item. So let's actually add a container now, because we kind of have a screen now, but no canvas to put things on. So I'm going to make a new container. I'll actually do it right here. And I want to make it the entire size of the screen. So I'll make sure to pass that resolution that we set before. So this is our screen size. And I'm going to enable scaling. Actually, I'm going to disable it for now, because we always want it to take up the entire screen. And I'm going to enable an outline for it. So let's add our container to our main object as well. And we can see that there is a method called add container, or a function. And we can pass our container in there. Currently our container doesn't have any items, so let's add some text to it. And I'll add some, let's see, yeah, let's just add a text item at first. So I will pass the text hello. This is text displayed in a container. It's not going to do anything. And I'll just pass a margin of 16. And the font I want to use is bookshelf. Okay. Let's see what happens when we run this. Okay, so we have our text displaying now. We might want to make the text a little bigger, which we can. I'll just pass a different font. Okay, it's that easy. So we can do the same with the menu. If you want to make the text bigger, just change the height, and you can pass another font. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is maybe add something like a button. And this time, let's add an image. So our image is going to be our button. And in order to do this, we can use the image button item. And on click, it's going to do the same thing as the other one, which is display some text to the debug screen. And for the sprite, I'm going to use the sample image, which is included. We can also override the scale to make it bigger. So let's see what happens if we... These are optional, by the way, so I just leave that gone for now. Or leave that out. So we have our button here, and when we click it, you will see that there is output here, so that works perfectly. Now let's actually upscale this a little bit. Yeah, still works as intended, so that's great. And we can also add many other different items to it, so as soon as you start typing new, you should get some type hints to what is available. And you can also view this in the documentation page. So there's a getting started view. There's also an overview of the different items and available options. So let's see if we can add. Yeah, let's add a checkbox. Check. And it's not going to do anything, so I can just leave this empty. Let's see what happens. And here we have our checkbox. So that works as well. You might notice that this is kind of, we don't really want this to be this close. And in order to separate it, we also have a separator item, which is our line break item. And I'll pass the margin and the height. Oh. Okay, and now we see that it's moved a bit further down. And it still works, right? Okay, so I think that is about it for this quick introduction. I hope you found it useful, and if you have any questions or concerns or whatever, just leave it in the comments and I'll do my best to take a look at it. Thank you for watching. Bye.